My goodness, I get a lot of compliments from a lot of their fragrances. There are ways of creating chaos in those situations. There is no bigger compliment in life than being told that you smell good. I don't know about you guys, but particularly because, you know, when you do enter a space and then when you exit a space, to be told that you leave a really beautiful lingering smell, there is literally nothing better as far as compliments go. So I know that you guys are really intrigued to see which ones out of my collection have been the most complimented. Now, this doesn't work for everyone. I know that you guys know this already, but just because I wear a fragrance and because I get complimented on it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will have the same experience. There have been occasions where I've recommended fragrances and with my friends, for example, and they've told me I've literally been hunted down to find out, you know, the fragrance name from people in the public. So there are those occasions. So anyway, we'll just jump into 8 fragrances that this year so far of 2025 have garnered me the most compliments. Where I don't know about you guys, but I don't particularly wear fragrance necessarily to be complimented on because we are fragrance enthusiasts within this community. Obviously you want to smell nice, and most of the time whenever I wear fragrances, it's because I generally love what I'm wearing and I find fragrances interesting in of themselves. So anyway, without further ado, we'll just jump straight into this video. I want to kind of start off with my most complimented fragrance of this year so far. Now I actually featured this on one of my other videos from last year in 2024 for my most complimented fragrances, and by far this one has had an effect on people like I've never really come across before. I don't know what it is, I don't know whether I've become anosmic to it, and I don't quite understand why it's so appealing, but it's probably my most seductive fragrance of them all. So whenever I want to make an impact, especially during the evening, then this is one that I will wear. So I have Cuir Grenat from Parfumeur. I bought this sometime last year, and as I said, I wore it loads and I got lots of compliments, and the more times that I wear it, the more times that I realize how much I truly love it. My boyfriend goes nuts over this fragrance whenever I wear it as my partner, and he knows that I wear a lot of fragrances. It's the one that he will always compliment. Now whenever I'm out and I'm wearing this fragrance, people will literally hunt me down in order to get it. I've had women take pictures of this fragrance, I've had men compliment me. There's been so many different occasions where I thought, oh my goodness, I have literally created chaos. I'm only joking, but there are ways of creating chaos in those situations. But this one, my goodness. And the beauty of this is because it's both a light and a dark fragrance, you can kind of wear it on multiple different occasions. So whether you're going out, say for a brunch, for a lunch, down to the afternoon, evening time, and even going out, like if you still go clubbing and all of those things, not that I do that anymore, but if you do go out and have a good time, this is one for you. And I would say that it's unisex leaning, so any gents watching right now, you can definitely wear this one. I think it both smells really beautiful on men and women. I would say because it is a little bit fruitier and sweeter, it might lean a little bit more feminine. So anyway, it's as if you have a big punnet of raspberries, or if you just have raspberries in the fridge, you have a really beautiful fresh suede loafers or something along those lines, something suede, maybe a suede bag, and it's as if you've literally rubbed the raspberries onto this suede bag, and that's what creates the scent. This is a heavy leather fragrance, but when we think of leather, sometimes it can go quite animalic and very masculine. This is not the same leather that you'd find in those particular fragrances. This is more of a suede leather, and by suede leather I mean a little bit more dusty, a little bit more musty, but not as prominent or animalic as the men's fragrances go, and it does have a very smooth quality. It's almost like you mix cashmere with leather. It also has a lot of pepperiness in the beginning. I never understand whether it might have some pink pepper, black pepper, or even like some saffron, just to kind of give it a little bit of a kick. It only lists like raspberry and leather in the notes, but honestly you pick up on a lot more. As I said, you pick up on this sourness, this pepperiness in the beginning, and then this very soft suede-like scented body. It's really very sexy. I think this does really particularly well on people's chemistry. You know, my boyfriend always makes a joke whenever I wear this, that out of all of the fragrances that I've ever owned, this is the one that really represents my personality. It might be because I have a Jekyll and Hyde personality, you never know, because this is literally lightness and darkness. And you know, whenever you are feeling a little bit more adventurous, I would always kind of go for this one. It has lots of different feelings that it evokes, but anyway, I'm just talking really pretentiously here now. This is a beautiful fragrance, and if you've ever wanted to give something a go from L'Artisan Parfumeur, I would definitely start with this one. So that is Cuir Grenat. So the next fragrance that I have should not come as a shock to any of you. I am an Ormonde Jayne stan. I have loved the brand for so many years, and I will always talk about their fragrances because my goodness, I get a lot of compliments from a lot of their fragrances. Now, there are fragrances that I don't love from the brand. That's just natural, right? Like, there will be fragrance houses that you won't love every single fragrance within that house. But this particular fragrance, my goodness, this is heaven in a bottle. Now, originally they launched this one alongside Cashmere, which I would say isn't necessarily my olfactic type of group that I necessarily go towards. This one is a lot more down my alley. This is a heavy white floral fragrance with a lot of added things going on here. Like, this is a very complex fragrance, but in the best of ways. Now, one of you actually commented on one of my videos quite recently. You said that you have this fragrance and your partner does the same thing, where you feel anosmic to it, but then everyone else around you loves this fragrance and you always get compliments from this fragrance. I have the same experience. Now, this is a very strange fragrance because it doesn't have a massive projection, neither does it have a massive sillage per se, so it doesn't kind of like travel once you wear it. But I think it could just be because I'm anosmic to it, because every single time that I wear this I always get compliments. It's so bizarre. This is probably one of my most complimented fragrances after this one, and you wouldn't think it because it's quite a soft fragrance. So anyway, we have Bukhara from Ormonde Jayne. Now, this is a beautiful peach, white floral, musky, slightly woody type of fragrance. It's really bizarre. It's a mix of all different types of notes. The best way, now thinking about it, how I can describe how this smells like, it's as if Enigma Oud from Roja and Levant from Ormonde Jayne had a baby. And the reason why I say that is because you almost have like a slight pepperiness, like the slight spice in the beginning, which you know, is coming from a concoction of peach and other notes. In the end, you do have more of a woody scented base. Now, apparently it doesn't have musk or cashmere in this, but I definitely get a very heavy dose of white musk and cashmere, so that's what makes it smell also quite mature and sexy. This I wouldn't say is necessarily like a playful, youthful scent. I would say it's a lot more mature leaning. On top of that, you also have a really big concoction of various different white florals. So you have tuberose, jasmine, all sorts in this. And that married with this fruity top of the peach, the blackcurrant, which is slightly bitter and sour as well as soapy. And then going towards the end of having this white musk, it's a really beautiful concoction of all various different notes. And as I said, like, it's a very soft fragrance. I wouldn't say it's a loud or projecting fragrance, but whenever I wear this, my goodness, people will literally stop me and say, what have you just sprayed? That smells so nice. People also have different kind of experiences with it. Some people say it's quite spicy. Some people say it's quite fresh and feminine. So it's a really bizarre one, honestly. It's funny though, because even though I love this, I wouldn't say it's my favorite from the brand. As you guys know, Damask, Taif, those are probably my favorites, and I wear them sometimes even more often than this one, but for some reason I just get lots of compliments. So anyway, it's a bit of a bizarre one. So from the house of Ormonde Jayne, we have Bukhara. And now from the house of Maison Kurkdjian, I have a really beautiful one that again I bought sometime last year, and I've been wearing it like a crazy woman this year. And let me tell you guys, I've gotten so many different compliments. Again, people have stopped me literally in the street to ask me what I'm wearing, so that's always a positive thing, right? And it's funny because this one used to be an APOM Parfum and APOM pour Homme, so it isn't necessarily like a brand new fragrance, and honestly it's not mind-blowing. It's a beautiful fragrance, but it's not anything unique. But don't let that fool you guys, because this one is unbelievable. Like, it's such a beautiful fragrance. And honestly, out of all of the ones that were launched, was it last year or the year before? I can't even remember. Guys, I can't keep up with the amount of launches. I mean, I've already made a video about this, so I won't ramble too long. But this one, whenever it was launched, It was probably my favorite, one of my favorites that launched that year, because honestly, sometimes you don't need a super unique fragrance, and neither do you need anything too complex. This is just beauty in a bottle. Now, this is a very heavy white floral fragrance. It's candied, it's sweet, it's not anything like too mature or too youthful. It's just perfectly in the middle. And what I love about this fragrance is I used to love APOM Parfum. I know there was an APOM Parfum, but I didn't really know that one as well, and I think this one is very close to the APOM Parfum, but maybe with a little bit more like sugariness, a little bit more amberiness, and it's maybe a little bit richer than the Parfum version. The Parfum almost reminds me more of Amorous Femme, you know, Amorous, the extract from MFK, which is a lot brighter, more orange blossom, lighter, fresher, whereas this one, as I said, is a lot, you know, denser and richer. So this has a really big note of orange blossom, ylang-ylang, other white florals like jasmine in here. And what I love about orange blossom, it's one of those notes, if you get it right, guys, it can smell so feminine, almost like ethereal in a weird way, and you can always pair it with other notes like amber, for example, just to make it smell a little bit more candied. Take Saffronade from Parfums de Marly, one of my most favorite fragrances of all time. That is a heavy orange blossom scent, but they do it so well because they marry it with, you know, sandalwood, some other sweeter notes, and that's what's happening in this fragrance. You also have a big dose of amber, which again adds that vanilla kind of quality to the fragrance. On top of that, you have lavender. Now, the lavender is what makes it lean a little bit more masculine, and that's, I think, what was included in the Pour Homme, the original Pour Homme, and that's why I think it's a really beautiful unisex fragrance. Would I say it leans more masculine? Probably not. I would say this is a lot more feminine than it is masculine, but nonetheless, it's a really beautiful fragrance, and that lavender note just makes it smell, I guess, like a little bit more androgynous. It doesn't have to be super feminine all the time, and sometimes by adding that slight like fougere type of quality, it really adds to the fragrance. The best way that I've always described this, it's almost like Orange Blossom Turkish Delight. It's sweet, it's powdery, it's soft, it's sugary, it's just everything in the bottle. And what I love about this, I love having the smaller bottle because you can take it traveling with you, and that's where I've gotten a lot of the compliments. My goodness, there's been loads. You can layer this with other fragrances, you can layer it with body creams. There's all sorts you can do this with this. So it's APOM from MFK. Sticking with the orange blossom theme, we have one that is from the house of Loewe. Now, I could have included La Bella Zibellas, which is one that I included from last year, but I've revisited my favorite one, which of course is Mayrit, and my goodness, this is a compliment getter. I mean, we're talking about orange blossom with this fragrance. This is orange blossom done right as well, and on top of the orange blossom you also have other fruity notes like passion fruit, you have white florals in here like jasmine, and overall it's just one of those fragrances that you can just not go wrong with. It's spring and summer in a bottle, so if you are going away and if you want to smell a little bit more fruitier, sweeter, and like a little bit funner, this is a really great choice. And whenever I have worn this, I've always kind of layered it with other fragrances, like Vanilles Afriques from Ormonde, Dahab from Kurkdjian, all sorts, even Saffronade from Parfums de Marly. This is a really great layering fragrance. Now, what makes this so unique is the passion fruit, and this is like a candied passion fruit. It's literally, oh my god, this is so good. I always forget how nice this is. I wore this recently, actually. I went down to London for a week, well, less than a week, like a few days or so, and this is one that I brought with me. And even my colleague that went with me on the trip, she said that it smelled really beautiful and she really fell in love with it. And even the night following, when I went out with some colleagues, well, I say some colleagues, but people that I'd met at the event that I went to, they really complimented this one. They said that I smelled really nice, so that's always a plus for me. Anyway, we won't delve into, you know, what I do outside, but this is a really beautiful passion fruit. It's literally as if you're squeezing passion fruit maybe over some, I don't know, some mango, even though it doesn't smell like mango, but maybe some exotic fruit, and you have a really big dollop of vanilla ice cream. It's just so smooth, it's sexy, it's really rich and dense. It has this dewiness that a lot of fragrances don't have, and it's not abrasive at all. It's just super easygoing, and honestly, this laid with other fragrances is unbelievable. Now, I don't know whether they're discontinued. Let me actually check, because I'm a little bit concerned. I need to top up on this bottle, and I'm a bit worried that I won't be able to find it. So if I just type in Mayrit, oh, let me not do that. Yeah, oh, thank goodness. So they've had a rebrand. So the Labella Tibellas that I have in that bottle, it has like a marble top and then a frosted rectangular bottle. They've done the same with Mayrit. So I don't know whether I'll be able to show, actually I can just show you on the screen, but they do have it, which thank goodness, because I was so worried. Guys, you don't even understand. This is probably one of my most favorite fragrances of all time. So to think that it could potentially be discontinued, I had a bit of a heart attack there, not to be dramatic. But so anyway, if you're into fruity fragrances and if you do like the note of orange blossom and passion fruit, you cannot get any better than this. So that is Mayrit from Loewe. Now moving on to a bit of a cheaper fragrance. This is inexpensive, and I think as daily fragrances go, you can't go wrong with this, especially for ladies who are into white floral fragrances or more mature fragrances from designer brands. This is a really beautiful one. I don't think you can go wrong with this. Is it anything special? No. But is it just easygoing, easy to wear? Absolutely. So from the house of Chloe, we have Love Story. Now, one of my friends actually thought that this was a really nice fragrance, and honestly, it can be quite hard sometimes, like impressing your friends, because, you know, they are harder people to please, I guess. I know that sounds really bizarre, but because you know your friends inside and out, right? Like you've known them for years, they are sometimes hard to shop for, because you think to yourself, oh my God, are they actually going to like this? Or, you know, is this kind of like the fragrance that they go for? So anyway, this is like a heavy pear, white floral, slightly woody and musky fragrance. Even though it's like more of a brighter, youthful type of note profile, I almost think that this goes a little more mature. That might be down to the fact that it has those white florals, so it has like orange blossom, neroli. The neroli can come across a little bit bitter and green in the beginning, but that's never like a bad thing. The pear is throughout the entirety of the fragrance, which is actually quite a nice thing to smell, because pear almost adds like this other fruity nuance to the fragrance. There's a lot of beautiful pear, you know, kind of scented fragrances out there. And then towards the end, you kind of have like this musky, woody type of base. There might be some sandalwood, which makes it quite smell very powdery, some cedar. There might even be some cashmerean, which again, like a lot of fragrances that smell like white musk or musky in general, they add a note of cashmerean, and that's what makes it smell a little bit like you're literally taking wool out of the washing, like you've just done a fresh wash, and it has that fuzzy, soft type of feeling to it. So it's a really nice note to add within the fragrance, because again, it does make it smell a little bit more mature, a little bit more musky and sexy. And that's what I love about this fragrance. It's almost a mixture of bright notes mixed with maybe like darker, more mysterious type of notes with the woody aspect and the musky aspect. So, and you can get this for quite a good deal. And whenever I've worn it, people have just said, oh, you smell like really fresh and beautiful. And sometimes that's all you need, guys. Like, you don't need somebody to say, can I come closer to you? I need to smell more of that. Sometimes that can be a little bit off-putting, whereas this is just super easygoing. If you want to go out, say to the supermarket, or this is literally my supermarket fragrance, right? This is so sad, guys, but honestly, needs must, and sometimes it's just nice wearing that type of fragrance. So from Chloe, we have Love Story. My goodness, you guys can already tell I definitely have a theme when it comes to fragrances that I wear. Like literally 70% of these are white floral based fragrances, so you just know what's coming up next, guys. I'm so sorry if I'm a little bit repetitive, but I wouldn't lie to you and say, oh, you know, I get compliments from this one when I genuinely don't. There's no point in doing videos like that, so I'm sorry if it's a bit repetitive. These are generally ones when I do wear them, people are like, you smell good, darling, and I think to myself, damn right I do. So anyway, from Pantheon Roma, we have Donna Margherita. My goodness, ladies, if you are into jasmine or tuberose fragrances, this is heaven in a bottle. Now, I know there's lots of beautiful jasmine fragrances out there and tuberose ones. I mean, we can think of Fracas, we can think of Jasmine Rouge from Tom Ford, Alien even. There's just so many to choose from. Now, this is probably one of the most hyper-realistic floral fragrances you can get out there. In fact, Pantheon, is it Pantheon Roma? No, Matière Première. They have one quite similar, which is called French Flower. That is a tuberose fragrance, and this one is quite similar to that, but it's a lot more candied, sweeter, mixed with that jasmine. This is heaven in a bottle. And out of all the fragrances that we're talking about today, even though a lot of them are female, you know, kind of scented, this is very, very feminine leaning. Like, you cannot get more feminine than this, ladies. So again, if you're into jasmine, this is beautiful. This is almost like a mixture of like that white bushy jasmine that's a bit fresher and easier going, as if you're going like on holiday and there's lots of like jasmine bushes. And then on top of that, you have an indolic night blooming jasmine sandbag type of, you know, those indoles make it smell slightly more animalic, but not in a harsh way, not in like, you know, a pissy way, you know what I mean, more in a sexy, seductive type of aspect. So this is both warm, fresh, and then that tuberose. The tuberose in here goes a little bit banana-like, so as if you have, you know, the banana skins. Tuberose is one of those notes that has all different facets to it, and it's probably one of the most interesting white florals that you can get out there. You can get quite green tuberose, bubblegummy. This is almost like a mixture of bubblegummy and banana-esque, so if you can imagine, you know, just peeling fresh bananas, that's kind of what you're getting in this. Apparently has narcissus, like that flower within this fragrance, which honestly I don't really pick up on too much. Apparently narcissus is within the daffodil type of family, and honestly, as somebody who knows the smell of daffodils quite well, I wouldn't say that I pick up so much on that. You do also have amber in the base, which is definitely prominent in here. You have this underlying sweetness, which is definitely playing into the sweetness of the floral notes as well. So it's just a really beautiful concoction. So anyway, ladies, if you want a year-round beautiful smelling fragrance that will definitely garner you compliments, then definitely try Donna Margherita from Pantheon, Roma. Now, there was no way that I was going to film this video without including this fragrance. Now, I know that I've already talked about one from this brand, but guys, I should have, do you know what, I didn't even do it in order of compliments, because sometimes you kind of like lose track of which ones garner you the most compliments, which garner you the least. I wear so many fragrances that it's not like I keep a tally of I got so many from, you know, this one and so many from that one. But I would say, oh no, but it's so hard. But anyway, I won't even delve into that. But this is probably one of my most complimented fragrances within my collection, and the funniest and the most ironic thing is I only have a travel size of this, which just shows it must be a good fragrance, because considering how tiny this is, I still get so many compliments. And it's even like the last video that I did, there was one from Veronique Gabai that I got so many compliments from, and that was from a 10ml travel size. So that's how you know it's a beautiful fragrance. So anyway, we have Vanilles des Afriques from Ormonde. This is a very unisex fragrance. It leans very masculine and it also leans feminine. So there is literally no gender attached to this. As it says in the name, you have two types of vanilla. You have a bourbon vanilla. You also have Madagascan vanilla. But I mean, I've talked about this fragrance so many times. You guys will be so sick of hearing me talk. I'm sick of hearing myself talk. This is not a gourmand vanilla. It has sweetness. Yes, it does have sweetness, but it's not like the cakey vanilla that you find in other fragrances. It's not like vanillin, where it smells overly like sweet or sugary or anything like that, or like vanilla icing, or, you know, like it's more like vanilla pod, you know, that you kind of scrape, as opposed to like vanilla extract. I know it's so hard to explain. And as I said, it doesn't really have like a cakey feel to it. If anything, it just has a really smooth, oh my god, this is literally heaven, buttery feeling to it. And that's also coming from the orris or the iris in this. Orris can smell very buttery, suede-like. It has all different aspects to it. It almost smells a little bit animalic, but in the nicest possible way. And that's what adds this very smooth vanilla kind of vibe, buttery vibe that's going on within this fragrance. On top of that, you also have carrot seeds and other things that are going on. And there is like a slight pepperiness in the beginning, like a slight spice, but nothing too overdone or too masculine, for example. I mean, it's literally like the perfect unisex fragrance. You can't get more unisex than this. And as I said, like literally when I bought this at the event that I went to last year, it was the Christmas, the Secret Santa for Ormonde Jayne. I went to their Burlington Arcade shop and I bought myself, you know, this travel size. Literally, I was going to swear there. Don't swear. I tell you not. When I went and visited one of my friends that same evening, we had some dinner together, and I kid you not, when I sprayed this fragrance for her, because she was talking about Vanilla Antique from Mayrit, she really wanted to get that fragrance, I said to her to get this one instead. One of the waitresses had to write down what the fragrance name was. And since that day, I kid you not, every time that I wear this fragrance, and even happened not last night but the night before, I had somebody say to me, right, I need to know what fragrance that is because I can smell it and it smells beautiful. So anyway, if you guys are like into compliments and stuff like that, definitely try Vanilles Afriques. I know it's an expensive fragrance and hence why I haven't bought myself a bottle yet. I'm budgeting to whichever one I want to buy. There's so many fragrances on the wish list. It's like, which one do I buy? I do have a 10% discount code, by the way, guys. So if you want to get yourself a travel size like what I did here, definitely give that a go. So I'll just link it in my description down below. So from Ormonde Jayne, we have Vanilles Afriques. So lastly, guys, I am literally out of breath from speaking for so long, so I'm sorry if you've ended up towards the end of this video and you're still going strong. You are my loyal guys. I give you guys a lot of credit, honestly, because I wouldn't be able to stick through me for that long. So this is from Boucheron and this is called Iris de Syracuse. Now you can definitely get this discounted. I think I bought this for about £80 for 125ml. 125, guys, that is a big bottle. I mean, I don't know whether you can see, but I've already made like a really decent dent with this, and the reason why is because it's so easy to wear. Like this is quite reminiscent of Loewe from Xerjoff, but I would say it's a lot more lipsticky and powdery than a Loewe. So this is a really beautiful concoction. It has pear in the beginning. The pear in the beginning is very prominent. It's quite fruity and fresh and quite sweet at the same time. It's almost like a Jean-Paul Gaultier, you know, Scandale, but less honeyed, that type of fresh pear. And in the mid, that's when you get most of the powderiness. So the iris in here is a very powdery lipsticky iris. So it's as if you're literally applying lipstick, you know, like the old school lipsticks that used to have that kind of like soapy type of scent, powdery scent. And then on top of that, you have a heliotrope. Now heliotrope, to me, I don't particularly enjoy it normally because it smells like really weird synthetic almondy type of scent, but in here it's weird. It almost gives the like this mustiness, this powderiness, and this almond-esque kind of undertone to it. It's very subtle, but you can definitely pick up on it. And then in the base you almost have like this cashmere powdery sandalwoody thing going on. But the most bizarre thing about this fragrance, it's quite fizzy to me. So it's powdery, it's fizzy, it's soapy, it's fruity even. It has literally every aspect within the fragrance that I quite enjoy, and it's quite mature. So any ladies who are watching, if you are younger, I would say sample. I mean, I always say sample anyway, but with this fragrance, don't just buy it on a whim. Although it is a little bit cheaper, it does have a lot of aspects of maturity with, you know, the iris, the heliotrope, etc. And, you know, with the muskiness in the base. So if you are interested in iris-based fragrances, definitely try this one before. It's quite old school, but in a really nice way. Whereas it still has like that fruity, youthful type of vibe. And this for work is brilliant. I wear this all the time, and literally whenever I'm out of options and I don't know what to wear, and if I want to wear something that will just give me that extra bit of confidence, this is a really beautiful one. I wouldn't say it's very masculine leaning. I would say mostly only women could possibly wear this, but again, I could be wrong. I haven't sprayed this on men, so who am I to say? So anyway, from the house of Boucheron, we have Iris de Syracuse. So guys, that is it for today's video. Again, I really appreciate all of your support, and I'm so sorry if this was a bit of a rambly one, because I had so many to go through, and because I've had so many like different things happen, I thought I would just do a bit more of an in-depth one. So if you guys have stuck around, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does massively help with the channel, and I will see you guys later.